It's still loading on my computer.
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, we're doing this
Are we
meeting
doing
in
it?
Spanish, so.
Sí.
Vamos a trabajar este día.
Sí. No way to tomar.
Or French. Bonjour. Bon matin.
We, he said in perfect French.
Yeah.
Took 4 years of Spanish in high school, and all I came out with was "Donde está la biblioteca?" Where's the library?
Oh, that's good.
I thought you were gonna say, where's the bathroom? Fine.
No,
Baseball, and they weren't very good words.
Okay, I'm gonna go with your live, so go ahead and start, and I'll
Okay.
catch up.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are
Sure.
rolling at 10:38 a.m. on the 11th of June. We'll begin with an invocation led by Commissioner Hinkleman, and then follow with the Pledge of Allegiance by Administrator Wolf.
Would you please rise and pause with me? Bow your heads. Father God, we just want to thank you for the gift of today, this wonderful day that you've allowed us to be part of, this day that you have made. Father God, we're so thankful for the blessings that you have poured down upon this county. Today, we would like to take some time to thank you for the staff that has served this county so well, the staff that has made life here better, the staff that you have guided with your hands to fulfill your will for the people. And today, Father, we ask a special blessing. We know that our County Administrator, Bill Wolf, will be departing, and he will be enjoying a different phase of his life. And we ask a special blessing for him today. Father God, we know that you have been here with him as he has worked so faithfully and diligently for the county to better life for the people, to fulfill your plan. And we ask now that you be with him, as we know that you always are, so that as he gets into another phase of his life, that he will be guided by you once again and be able to enjoy that next portion. We thank you so much for the service that he has provided. And once again, Father God, we ask that you be with us so that you can guide our hearts, so that we can fulfill your will here, because we know that we are your servants. And we ask all this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Elliott,
Here.
Harrison,
Here.
Scott,
here.
Meeks,
Here.
Jerry,
Here.
Ballrat,
Here.
Yarborough,
Present.
Hinkleman,
Here.
Curran,
Here.
Hugo,
Here.
Chickering,
Here.
Freely.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 present.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any let's do the minutes first. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from last week's meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Hinkleman, supported by Meeks. All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, I guess we'll have to do a roll call
Yes.
since we're virtual. So will you do that, please?
Yarborough,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chickering,
Yes.
Ballrat,
Yes.
Freely,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
thank you. Now, communications.
We received one communication from Adam Rocheford, St. Joseph, to open the rest of the county, received on June 10th. That's
Thank you.
all.
we're at the top of page 2, public comments on resolutions. And we'll wait a minute and find out if anybody has anything they'd like us to know about the resolutions on the agenda.
Would love to, except that YouTube does not want to show, so I'm not able to chat with the public right now.
Ah,
So stand by a second, I'm sorry.
are we doing that health department contract?
No,
The contract, yeah, I think that's on here. King Media, yeah.
Yeah. Just looking for it.
I don't know if I added it to the second set, if it wasn't added,
We have the United Way.
for farmer's
That-
market, and
yeah.
there is the other one.
The
but
COVID-19 response.
the King, the other one, yes, it's,
When you find it, I'll write down the number.
all right.
No, it starts with a P, if that helps you.
Choose on the.
Now I see why waiting my hand. Because you look up there, you see stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You can get their attention.
In fact, I would think it would be P2006 if that narrows it down.
Do we need to add it?
Well, I think I did on another copy, but I think you might still be upstairs. All right, it appears as though we do not have any public comments on the resolutions.
Okay. Well, while we're trying to identify the number, on the consent calendar, my copy of the agenda does not have the resolution for the health department involving the contract with King Media. This has been a matter of discussion because John DeWayne had mentioned that there is a hold harmless provision in that contract where we would hold the other party harmless. This was passed along to PHS. I think Bill summed it up best on behalf of the committee and said apparently it had been approved last year. This is a continuation of that contract. And given the time constraints, the health department needs to get it done. John had said we shouldn't have contracts with hold harmless clauses because as a governmental entity, we're not supposed to hold anyone harmless. But for the sake of enabling the health department to get this communications contract done, I think the position of PHS was to go ahead with it, but I know Terry had some questions as well. I understand why we need to do it, but going forward, similar to what we had with Andrews University when they wanted us to hold them harmless when we were looking at getting some beds there in case we needed them, and we told them, no, we can't do that. This again would be a situation where next year, if we have to do this, we would want them to know well ahead of time, we don't do hold harmless and indemnification provisions in contracts. The resolution number is P2006-256, and it involves a contract with King Media for education and outreach involving a medical marijuana program in partnership with Van Buren, their health department and their mental health authority. So that's the background information I have. Yes, Bill?
Just to clarify, because of when this topic came up, which is last 24 to 36 hours, not been an issue discussed in PHSC. So Dave and Terry have not weighed in on this topic. In my conversations with you and John Dwayne on the topic, yes, there's urgency. Yes, it's something we probably shouldn't do, but yes, it's something we did a year ago. This exact contract was approved by corporate counsel 1 year ago. And that's one of the reasons King is saying, wait a minute, you're changing the rules on us. So that's background for everyone.
Terry, did you have, I saw an email from you this morning. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the resolution that you're speaking about ending in 256 for King Media was presented to this board and was tabled so that it could be vetted for the contract purpose. My emails this morning were in reference to another resolution on the consent calendar ending in 273 for Lang Security.
Okay.
That would be the one I would like to pull.
Okay.
I'm comfortable moving forward with King Media with the caveat of knowing that moving forward, the contractor is kind of made aware of our concerns.
Got it. All right. With that then, is there a motion to approve the consent calendar accepting out the resolution ending in 273 and including the King Media resolution, which ends in 256?
So are we
Here,
untabling
Scott,
it?
I'll make that motion.
No, we're making a motion to approve the consent calendar without the land security resolution.
What about, are you adding that King Media?
Yeah, that's.
But you had a table, so you have to make a motion to untable it.
Mr. Chair, I make a
Yes.
motion that we untable the resolution. This is Commissioner Freeling for King Media ending in 256.
And then to add it to, then say to add it to the consent calendar.
I
To
said,
add it to the consent calendar.
All right, seconded by,
Michael Majerick.
okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. but I
Majerick seconds.
didn't,
No, that's all right. I mean, I think when we put it in, though, we've implicitly said we're taking it off table, but we'll go ahead.
I just,
It's all right. Roll call?
Yarborough,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chickering,
Yes.
Ballramp,
Yay.
Freeling,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Majeri,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes. Did you ask John?
John, did I say, I said that?
Okay.
Yeah, 12.
So 12
Yes.
yeas, the King Media resolution is in the consent calendar. The consent calendar now is up for consideration without the Lang security resolution. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar, including 256 and excluding 273?
Commissioner Scott, I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a
Commissioner
second?
Harrison, I'll second the motion.
Moved by Scott, seconded by Harrison. Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Yarborough,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chickering,
Yes.
Ballramp,
Yes.
Freeling,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Majeri,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
thank you. All right, Terry, what do you want to talk about with Lang Security?
So with regards to resolution ending in 273 to approve a contract for Lang Security, my questions I presented this morning, because this came a little bit late yesterday. I don't remember this being something discussed with Personnel Committee, and I didn't know if the Health Board had recommended this contract. Also, if it had gone out for bid. And my other question was with regards to Exhibit B in the contract, regarding the timing of payment. I think it states there that it's a bi-weekly arrangement, and I don't know if that's in alignment with the county's policy for payment.
Okay. Anyone else on PHS have any thoughts about this? Bill, Dave?
They explained this as a contingency plan that would not go into effect unless there was a need for this larger containment facility. It's something that maybe the horse is already out of the barn on the need, but it's a firm that was going to evaluate the suitability of these facilities. And beyond that, I don't think we've had the dialogue. I know we haven't within PHSC because we haven't met in 3 years, so. And I miss those people.
It's been a while. I know we haven't talked about it, but I emailed yesterday with my approval. I'm okay with it.
Go ahead. Someone else has something?
Mr. Chair, this is Commissioner Scott. I have a question. This is to approve a contract with Lang Security for their security services. What I'm concerned with is I don't remember any of this going through finance to go out to bid to see if there are other people that are interested in this. The reason I'm bringing this up is I'm sure, as you know, right now, we're going through a situation with the drain department and on their purchasing and their bid policies. Now, if we're going to basically waive that and just go with a single source with Lang Security, that isn't really following our policies, and we need to follow the process of what we're actually doing. So that's my concern, because if it should be good for one department, it should be good for all departments.
All right, anyone else?
Mr. Chair, this is Commissioner Freeling. I wanted to address the statement that Commissioner Pickering had stated about it being if the need presented. So when I read a little bit further into the contract, it looks like there's an initial payment deposit. That is what caused me to give pause to this. I don't know what the urgency is, or if this is a week where Nikki or the team from the health department can come back and state their reasonings why this was expedited, and maybe it's gone through the vetting process. Just with the unique circumstances we're in, I haven't had that conversation.
All right. This is not something that I recall. I don't have any particular knowledge about it or any information. It's in the nature of what we're doing right now with the Emergency Operations Center being activated. But as you know, in the normal scheme of things, if we see a resolution pertaining to the health department, there's a spot below the body of the resolution and above where the committee members sign, where the resolution would be endorsed by the chair of the Board of Health, who is Peg Coring right This doesn't have that on there, which leads me to believe that this is related to the status that we have, where we're operating under a declaration of emergency through, right now, the 19th, I believe, of June, a week from tomorrow. I don't know if it's time sensitive. I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know if it could wait a week. I just simply don't know. You know, if we were getting a briefing today, I could ask Nikki because she'd be queued up right now waiting, but we decided that we didn't need to do one this week. And I don't know how easy it would be to reach her by telephone. Maybe what we could do is we could hold off on this particular item and continue on with our business for a little while. And if it turns out they really do need to get it in place, we could go ahead and act on it today. Would that be all right?
Mr. Chair, I would be comfortable with that.
Okay. The administrator has some thoughts.
The only caveat to that, I think that's fine, would be an understanding that should the need for this arrive before the 19th, it would probably require you and your authority and the Emergency Operations Center Chief Executive Officer to move this contract into immediate effect. And then if it extended beyond the emergency, then it would probably have to come back for ratification by the commissioners later on.
Yeah.
As an extended contract that goes from emergency into non-emergency timing.
Okay, understood. So basically, if something boiled over or looked like it was about to, after we get done today and before we reconvene next Thursday, I could go ahead and authorize it, and then when we get back together on the 18th, we would have to determine as a group if we wanted to keep it going past the 19th, which is right now when the declaration of emergency will sunset. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other comments? All right, well, we're just gonna park this one for a second. We're not gonna do anything with 273. Did we already approve the consent calendar?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm on top of it, you can tell. Does anybody have any commissioner reports or anything they want to give? Bill, did you have a report or anything in particular?
Yes, I'd like to report to the board that this week I have spent over 17 hours with Brian Dissett, orienting him on the county. And half of that time I also spent with Mike Henry, who will be coming in on Monday. So in the course of over 3 days, we, with the exclusion of the sheriff, the courts, and the health department, which will all follow up with their own briefings and tours later on. Brian Dissett has been introduced to every department head and either toured or driven by every facility of the county, to include every park, every road department garage. So I feel, in addition to that, he has sat down and spent at least an hour just talking finances with Doug and Ben. So I think it's been a pretty concentrated but very effective week in getting him and Mike Henry oriented to the county, and I feel pretty good about what they've had a chance to learn and observe before coming in here.
Okay. There's a rumor, and rumors sometimes are just premature facts, but there's a rumor that there could be a selfie of you and Mike Henry and Brian Dissett that may have been taken yesterday. Is there any credence to that rumor?
All right, it wasn't a selfie. I know who took the picture. I'm just wondering what you're gonna do with it now.
Okay,
Fill
I
out for-
stand corrected.
To be determined.
Yeah. Okay. General, are we still YouTubed out in terms of public comments?
So we're beyond the part of where they can comment on resolutions. If you're ready to do those for general public comments, I can ask for them.
Sure.
Are you ready to do that?
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, wouldn't that picture be past, present, and future?
Good. Yeah. That's good. That's important. Yeah.
Not for long.
Yeah, it makes up, the fact that you all pose for your annual picture and it gets posted in the hall. I'll point out to you and the public, you've never included the county administrators in those pictures. So going forward, I mean, it's nice you're playing catch up now with the three of us, but going forward, you might want to include the administrator in your annual photograph.
That's a good point.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it is.
It's like we take pictures of the elected officials, but, yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I guess it isn't annual, it's every 2 years, isn't it, enough that we go through that? So.
Yeah. So I have a general public comment from Tony Benmark of Saugus Township. Wish Bill a great retirement.
Mac or John, have you guys ever hear Bill complain because he wasn't in that picture before this, or?
Good point, Commissioner. Actually, I hid those mornings.
Any other comments coming through?
I have Adolph Pelzer from Hager, but I don't have his comment. It hasn't popped up yet, so I'm just double checking with him. Gotta type it all out, sometimes takes a little longer. Julie Piat with Pawpaw, from Pawpaw and the MSU Extension. Best wishes to Bill in his retirement, and thank you in all caps for your support. And Zelda says thank you for the kitchens, plural, with 3 exclamation points. So Adolph's Pelzer from Hager Township, I'm not sure what the first 2 words are, but in retirement, Bill, I'm guessing that's good luck in maybe another language.
In German.
I'm not-
German.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Real glue.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to say it, sorry. Much happiness in retirement, you just typed it in there, so thanks, Adolph, I'll let him know. I have closed public comments. If something comes up, I'll let you know, Matt.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, that concludes public comments. The resolution ending in 273, let's revisit that for a minute. That's Lang Security. What's your pleasure? You want to
Mr.
act on
Chair.
it today, or, pardon? Carrie?
This is Commissioner Freeman. I would feel more comfortable if we table it to get some of these questions answered and revisit it for next week, knowing that if it's of urgency, we can utilize those clauses for emergency action.
Okay. Just had a communication from Nikki Britton, that the need could arise at any time, and that they have gone thus far 2 months without needing it, but that could change at the drop of a hat. So I'm okay tabling it till next week, putting it on the agenda for next week, not open table, but table for 1 week to the 18th, with the understanding that if something happens, that I will sign this thing. And they can get it going right away, and then we as a group would have to deal with it on the 18th for purposes of extending it beyond the sunset of the emergency declaration, which would be close of business, I guess, next Friday. Is that good?
May I ask
Yeah.
you a question? Mamie Yarbrough?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you gonna do next week that you're not gonna do this week? You're
Well,
gonna
we
put it out for bids? Are you gonna get the president's signature of the board, or what are we gonna do different than that we have it now?
I don't think it would go to the health board because of the nature of it. It's part of the pandemic response. So it would be, if they determine they need to get an isolation facility going, these folks would step in and be involved. But it wouldn't be getting the health board to endorse it, or the chair of the health board.
Yeah,
It would
I just
be
heard you,
us having 1 more week to think about it, I suppose.
I just heard you say that it's normally has the initial or signature of the chairman of the board. Is this like if someone was homeless and they needed to give people some place to stay? I mean, what?
This would be to provide some security if it was determined that someone needed to be isolated, quarantined, and Lang Security would step in to maintain the integrity of that process.
Like if they were in jail or needed to be moved from what? Is that what it is?
I don't know that jail would be the situation. It'd be a health-based quarantine.
Matt, could I make a suggestion?
I just don't
Yes,
know.
sir.
I think PHSC, and I will take the lead, will reach out to Nikki and ask Nikki to communicate to us, ask her to copy you as well, Chairman, with some more background on this and answers to Terry's questions. And we'll make it our goal to be able to come back to this group with a recommendation next week. And if there's an emergency need for this in the interim, we've already talked that you would use your executive powers to execute it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you making that in the nature of a motion then? How to deal
You mean
with this
next week?
resolution today?
I think if it's been tabled, we will just reactivate it
Yeah.
Okay,
for the next week.
all right. John?
You got a couple things, you got a table motion and you've got something else on there right now.
We only have one.
I'm perfectly good, just to know that I would vote against the table just because I think the county's done an outstanding job to date through its Emergency Operations Center in dealing with this pandemic. This is just another decision in that. And I understand the questions about bidding, I understand the questions, but in my opinion, it's prudent and it's fine and it's something that we needn't fear do. And so I'm fine with proceeding at this point in time with it. And clearly Nikki is in that same camp. She feels it's important because with people with the reopening, we don't know what's going to happen. And I think that I trust the Emergency Operations Center to make the prudent decisions that they've made all along. So I'm perfectly good with proceeding as requested in the resolution.
Okay. Jim,
And-
any thoughts?
No, I'm also perfectly fine with it.
Today?
Yes, yes.
Today? Okay.
Yes.
Dave?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I agree with John. We were asked yesterday if we could push this through in a day because it was necessary, and I think we should, you know. Whatever.
Mamie, I see your hand.
Yes, and that's what my point was also, is that I'm fine with accepting this today with the recommendation that it came from, that department and Director Britton.
All right. Ezra?
Yeah, I'd just like to check on a point of order. I believe I'm correct, because we've gone through this before. If a commissioner tables a resolution, you do not need a second for a table, and there is no vote. It's tabled.
Incorrect. That's
I
not
believe
correct.
that's correct. So how do we get around that?
Well, the good news is that's not correct.
Okay,
A table does require a second. However, the vote on the motion to table is without discussion.
Right.
okay.
There's been no second to any motion to table at this point. We just simply deferred action on the resolution so we could have a little more time to talk about it. So we can act on it today if that's the wish of the majority of the board. I'd come back though to Bill and Terry. Reading the text from Nikki, the health officer, my impression was that given how dynamic things are, something could pop up, and I would imagine this would be more likely in a long-term care facility. Those have been the hot spots for us for several weeks now. But regardless, I'm okay with moving on this today, given that what we're dealing with does require us to be nimble at times. But if most of you want to wait a week with the understanding that I'd sign the contract if necessary in the meantime, I'll do whatever you all want to do. But I do want to underscore John's comments. They're doing good work out at EOC. And the health department folks are also doing a good job and meeting an unprecedented challenge over the last couple of months. So if she indicates that there is a need to have this in place, just in case,
Do it today.
I'm good with that. So, but you tell me what you want to do.
See if there's a second to the table motion.
Okay.
We never got a second on the table
Okay,
motion.
there's no second to
So
the
you-
motion
somebody
to
can make a
table.
motion.
So based on that, we're gonna need to vote on this. Is there a motion to approve 273, the Lang Security Resolution?
I'll make that.
motion.
Well,
Moved by Hinkleman, supported by Volrath. Now, discussion or further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk call? Yes, go ahead,
go ahead.
Dave?
No, I got nothing. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? Going? All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Yarborough,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Scott,
No.
Chickering,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Freeling,
No.
Curran,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Majeri,
Yes.
Meeks,
No.
Elliot.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas and 3 nays.
Thank you. And we'll communicate, maybe even this afternoon at the 2:30 meeting, that when it can be done, we'd like as much of a heads up as can be provided on things like this. So, all right, other business. Would anyone have any other business? Annette?
I would like to, if I may.
Sure.
So Commissioner Kern and I kind of chatted about it. It really stinks that the end of Bill's career here at Marion County is happening during this whole, COVID thing. And so technology, we thought we would try something through technology to provide a video montage that a lot of people contributed to. And my daughter offered to put that in a video. Unfortunately, the testing of that did not work, and so I can get the video, but I can't get the sound. So sorry about that, Bill. I checked with every technology person I could, and we just couldn't get it going. So with the permission of the board, I would like to place that on our Berrien County channel on YouTube, and then we'll make sure that we share that with Bill tomorrow on his last day.
Is there a motion to put that montage on the county's YouTube channel?
So moved.
Moved by Hinkleman. Is there
Support Commissioner Scott.
Support by Scott. Madam Clerk, we're going to deviate from protocol. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Commissioner
sir.
Scott, I have a question for Annette. Is it going to be possible to include the picture of the selfie that we had discussed earlier? Is that going to be on the video montage also?
I don't know that I can get it on the video montage, but I will certainly make sure that that gets posted appropriately.
I would think that that would be appropriate.
And technically, not a selfie. We're told the photographer was Annette. Anyone have any other business? Yes, sir.
I would, in lieu of technology and video, I would just like to offer to Bill, on my behalf, just a good old-fashioned thank you for everything that you've done. I had the good fortune of working with Bill as the chair for 6 years, and in that period of time, so many things were accomplished by the board as it offered guidance to Bill, who capably managed his way through those things. Building an animal control facility, acquiring the health department, selling through 5 properties that used to be the health departments, and consolidating helping to consolidate those buildings, purchasing an additional 80 acres that at some point in time, our future generations may look to build another campus there at some point in time. The remodel of the jail facility, the expansion of and the acquisition of land for parks, and the expansion of the parks, the departmentalizing of the road department, who was doing a great job, the building of something that at one point in time we probably never thought, but for indigent defense, the building of an entirely new department, and making sure that that was properly funded. So many things in that period of time, it's almost difficult, and so I just, once again, what a blessing you've been to the taxpayers. The job that you've done has been remarkable. I thank all the commissioners as well that worked with you for all that period of time to accomplish so many things. And so, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what you've done for the county.
Thank you, John. Well stated. I just noticed that I inadvertently overlooked something on the agenda.
I was wondering. I thought you were saving that the best for last.
Well, I don't know how I did this, but there's another resolution that somehow I missed. So I'm referring to B 2006-729. And with your indulgence, I'll read it aloud and look for the board to endorse it. Berrien County Board of Commissioners Resolution B 2006-729, June 11, 2020. Whereas William A. Wolf was born on July 29, 1952.
Resolution.
And is a lifelong resident of Berrien County. And whereas upon his graduation from St. Joseph High School in 1970, he was appointed to West Point. And whereas being a contributor and a leader dates back to high school, where he served as vice president of the senior class, president of the E.P. Clark chapter of the National Honor Society, treasurer of the varsity club, student council representative, and co-captain of the St. Joe Bears track team. And whereas he earned a Bachelor of Science degree from West Point in 1974, graduated from the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College in 1985, and obtained his master's in business administration in 1985, I would note, from the University of Chicago. And whereas he served our country on active duty from 1970 to 1979, eventually retiring in 2002 from the Army Reserves as a lieutenant colonel. And whereas Bill has not only resided in Berrien County, he took an active role in the betterment of his community as a Benton Harbor City Commissioner, as the mayor of Benton Harbor, as the county treasurer, and ultimately as the county administrator, the position he has held since January 2005. And whereas in his cover letter to the Board of Commissioners from October 2004, the 2004 County Administrator applicant submission, Bill said his goal was to be responsive, proactive chief operating officer to the Board of Commissioners, a prudent manager of the public's trust and finances, a valued partner to the countywide elected officials, and a respected mentor, leader, and manager to our team of county employees. And whereas he has successfully achieved this goal, and so much more, in the 15 years he has served in that role, and he deserves to be honored for all of his service to his community, our county, and our country. Now therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Berrien County Board of Commissioners recognizes William A. Wolf for his dedicated, endless service to Berrien County, thanks him for his efforts to prepare Berrien County for future generations, and wishes him a retirement filled with happiness and good health. Be it further resolved that his life, actions, and contributions to this community, this county, and this country reflect most favorably upon himself, his wife Bonnie, his family, the county of Berrien, the state of Michigan, and the United States of America. The resolution is signed virtually by all members of the board. I look for a motion and support for this resolution.
So moved.
Moved by Hinkleman.
Support.
Supported by
Everybody.
everybody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I think that's good enough.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
Well, Bill, I don't know if you remember, well, you remember running for state rep in 2004.
Right.
In that election happening on the first Tuesday following the first Monday in August. Do you remember getting a phone call on Wednesday morning, the day after the election?
I certainly do, because I was very reluctant to take any phone calls that morning.
I took on the role of being a political doctor and diagnosed your condition that morning without even asking how you felt. I told you, I'll bet you feel like shoot. or word something like that. And asked you if you would think about applying for the administrator job. The application deadline was 2 days out, and it extended for another week to accommodate your application. Probably the best thing the board's done in the last 15 years, 20 years, however many years you want to go. It turned out, I think, to be a good move for you, a good move for the county to have you. We're in good shape going forward. The time you've spent over the last 2 days with Brian and then with Mike speaks to a continuing commitment to keep the county on course, and that in and of itself says an awful lot about you and your dedication to the job and your love for the county. I mean, any of us who've been around here for a while develop an affection for the county, even though it's not a person, but you still get feelings for it, and certainly feelings for the people who work here and make it go. And so we've been blessed, as John said, to have you. It'll be a grayer place, a duller place. You're familiar with those words with your military background. Without you, but no one can begrudge you for wanting to take a break, take it easy, enjoy time with Bonnie, and we hope, I hope you know that the 25 years that I've been able to spend with you and almost, day-to-day contact during that time, really enjoyed. I was going to get you and Bonnie a gift certificate for the carriage house, but the lowest denomination was $900, and I wasn't quite up to that. But anyway, well done.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am, Amy?
I thank you so much. Bill, I want to say this to you. I've said it to other people. First of all, when you had your interview for the administrator, I was a citizen in the audience. I had started coming to the meetings to see if I wanted to be whatever that county commissioner was. What do they do? And you excelled in the interviews and was employed. And I did run and I won. And so we've been together almost your whole career as administrator of Berrien County. I know you, Bill Wolf. You were my mayor. You were a city commissioner in the city of Benton Harbor. But what I'm so proud of is the business that we've been able to do with your leadership. I have been so proud of all the accomplishments, and John Hinkleman read many of them, but to think that we did not go into debt, we did not put our county and our community in financial trouble in any way, but accomplished so much using the money that we had to the best of our ability with your thought and suggestion. You said it's sitting there making $1 on $1 million, let's put it into some things. And that's what we've done. And I've been proud to be a part of that. And I thank you for all that you know how to do. And I wish you well and hope that you will truly go and play somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Mamie.
Thank you.
Ezra, you asked about that photo of Bill and Mike and Brian. I don't know if Annette is in a position to do another photo, but this belongs to you, Bill. And COVID notwithstanding, I'd be happy to present it to you and have Annette take a photo of it.
And now, should I just give this to Annette to sign on behalf of the board, because she has all your signatures down really good?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I think she got especially good with yours, John. Okay, well, this is literally the last time all of us will be together in this room in a public meeting, and it's poignant. Change is the constant in life, never really have cared much for it, but I know it's part of the deal. Bill, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. And, you know, the resolution, thank you. It's, you know, as I look back, you know, 15 plus years as your administrator, 8 years as the county treasurer, my time in Benton Harbor, my military service, I'm really at a point now where I'm looking back on 50 years of serving the public. And I can't tell you whether this is a punctuation mark at that or whether this is just a hyphen. I don't know what the next is going to be, but I can tell you that 50 years serving the public has overwhelmingly rewarded me on a personal satisfaction level. And while there's always a few regrets, it has been just a tremendous career. And I can truthfully say that my time here as your county administrator has been the very best. It's a dream job. Working with the staff here in Berrien County, the department heads, the employees, with the commissioners, the past leadership. This truly is a job that I will look back with forever with tremendous fondness, whatever the future may hold for me and Bonnie. So thank you all very, very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Is there any other business to come before the board? All right, hearing none, we stand adjourned to next Thursday at 10:30 a.m.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, and thank you, Clerk Tyler.